Hello Bellas, it's Nicole Noasad here for Bella Blvd, and today I'm going to show you how you can create your own herringbone background using Bella Blvd papers. I was inspired to do this project by this paper here in the new Family Forever line. This one's called Family Game Night, and on one side you'll find this cool herringbone pattern, and the opposite side has this fun yellow star. And I thought it'd just be a fun background image for my page, so I'm going to give this a try and let's see how it turns out. The first thing I started with was 2 pieces of cardstock, each measuring 4 inches wide by 12 inches long, and 6 or 7 strips of pattern paper, each measuring 2 inches by 12 inches. Now you actually need 2 of each piece of pattern paper because you have 2 pieces of white cardstock. So what you do is you grab your first piece of pattern paper. I just chose this cool pink camo from the Molly line, and I just lined it up whatever angle it is you decide you'd like. So you can change your angle, will change your herringbone pattern. So I just wanted to see what it looked like with another piece beside it and decided to go with this kind of angle. So once you line that bottom piece up, you can start just adding more adhesive and just layering your strips on really quickly, covering all of that white cardstock base. Then when you're done, you just want to flip this over and just trim off using a pair of scissors like I'm doing, or you can use your trimmer, and just trim off all those little extra pieces of paper. Now keep those aside for the second piece because if you have larger pieces, they may fit onto the next piece of cardstock that we're going to do, especially those little tiny corner bits that you don't need a full strip of paper for. So once you have that done, you want to grab your second piece of white cardstock and line that up beside your pattern. And at first I tried using a large piece of paper to line up the angle, but I realized it's too difficult. So I'm starting with this top black triangle piece here. And I realized that this is the way to go. It was much easier. So what I did was I just grabbed my scrap piece off the piece that was chopped off initially. And I thought, oh, I'll line up the straight edge, but that didn't work best. So I actually noticed that if I lined up the pieces side by side and I tilted it with that cut off part, it actually lined up perfectly on my scrap piece of cardstock. So now that I have the angle all set up, it's really easy just to do the exact same thing as we did in the first step. And so I'm just adjusting my black piece here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a lot more adhesive, and then go ahead and finish off adding all the strips onto my piece of paper. And I'm just going to match up the same patterns, so the teal and the orange and then the pink and so forth. And you want to let that overhang a little bit over the edge until you get all the way to the bottom of the piece. Now some of those scraps you used in the first step, or some of the scraps left over from the first step, you could definitely use to fill in the edges of the paper here. And then you just want to flip it over again and trim off any of that excess paper. And from here, what you could do is just leave it the way it is and just line them up and use it on your page. You can instead add some white strips inside or some thinner strips on top of what you've already built, and that would make more of this herringbone pattern like in the paper here. For simplicity's sake of showing you how to do the tutorial, I just used all pattern paper, but it would definitely look really cool leaving some white space open. So here's the page that I've actually kind of gone ahead and started to do. I just need to finish it off, but you can see that I've added some stitching and I've varied up the pieces of pattern paper. And one thing I did is I actually chose that white polka dot paper, which has all the colors that's in my herringbone pattern. So that's just a kind of a neat tip, is if you use something like that, it'll pull all the colors in your page together. And I just added off a few embellishments to finish my page. So here's a couple close-ups just of my actual project, and you can see here's the detail of the stitching. I did both zigzag and single stitch, and I used the white strip around the outside edge of the herringbone piece just to kind of mimic that's in the paper. And I hope you've liked this project. It's really, really easy to do. It's not complicated at all. So please give it a try and upload your pages to our Facebook page or leave us a comment here on the blog. And thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you stopping by.